So I'm on vacation for a couple weeks. I thought, what better way to celebrate that than to have a couple creators that I like do some videos on my channel. So I asked Hugh if he would do that, and he said sure. So Mr. Jars has a video here coming up right after this. I've got the link to his channel in the description. You could watch the video here and then go to his channel, or you could just jump right over to his channel. Either way is fine with me. I highly recommend it. I am subscribed to Hugh, and I suggest that you do too. So here it is, Mr. Hugh Jars.
Thanks, MC Toon, and thanks for the opportunity to reach a wider audience. I hope everyone enjoys the show.
Hugh Jars.
Hugh Jars.
Hugh Jars.
Hugh Jars.
Hugh Jars.
Hugh Jars.
Hugh Jars. Hugh Jars.
I love you, Hugh.
The video you're about to see is part of a series that Where's Wally is doing on things that Flerfs say. Wally gave me Antarctica to have a look at. Let's see what Flerfs say about Antarctica and why they're wrong.
First thing they say is that it's an ice wall at the edge of the Earth. Well, actually, some flat earthers say that it's an ice wall preventing us getting to lands on the other side of the wall. Others say that the ice wall is there holding in the world's oceans. Whatever. They all say that there is an ice wall. This is pretty easy to disprove. Then again, isn't it always easy? For a start, if they mean the coast of Antarctica is an ice wall, well then that's easily shown as false. Many tourist companies take people to Antarctica every summer around Christmas time. They give tourists the chance to actually stand on the continent of Antarctica. To do that, you need an actual coast to land on. Just one area where you can do that disproves the coastal ice wall idea. Yes, there are parts of the Antarctic coastline that resemble an ice wall, but to hold in the world's oceans, wouldn't all of the coastline have to be that? So what if the ice wall was further inland? Well, I think those who travel and live and work at the South Pole Station would have noticed it. Yes, they all could be in on the conspiracy, but surely the necessary number of people in on it at some point gets to ridiculous levels. Ridiculous even for people desperate to believe that we live on a flying rock pizza for some reason. And Antarctica has been crossed many times by air and on the surface. No ice wall reported. Certainly no dome coming down to the ground. Not to mention that we have satellite images that show Antarctica as one continent, and that the Earth is a globe. Yes, I'm sure you believe space is fake. I refer you to what I just said about how ridiculous the conspiracy would have to be for you to be correct. Regardless, anyone who incorporates fictional elements from recent popular culture into their view of reality is someone who doesn't actually have a valid view of reality. The second thing that flat earthers say about Antarctica is that you can't go there. The Antarctic Treaty prevents it, and the military actively prevents it. Well, I've already mentioned that the tourist companies can take you there, so that disproves that. I'm sure you believe that they do that on purpose to give the impression that you can. But if there is a military presence preventing all other access to Antarctica, how come many people have sailed there on their own, such as these people? How come adventurers regularly go there to trek across the White Continent, or to climb one of the challenging mountains? People who say the Antarctic Treaty prevents access to Antarctica are people who haven't actually read it. There is absolutely nothing in there that says that. Correct me in the comments if you found a clause that does. I dare you. And think about the logistics if the military prevented access. Assume that the azimuthal equidistant projection is the best representation of the flat Earth. Flat Earthers don't offer anything else, so we'll have to go with that. We know that the distance pole to pole is roughly 20,000 kilometres. So on the Frisbee world, the circumference is approximately 2 pi r, where r is 20,000 kilometres. That's about 125,664 kilometres of wall to patrol. For scale, the distance across the United States, or even across Australia, is only about 4,000 kilometres. So the governments of the world, who never agree on anything, are somehow pooling their resources and patrolling 31 times that distance, just to keep out the occasional wayward explorer, who somehow get to the continent anyway. And this completely ignores the difficulty of doing anything at all in that region of the world due to climate and weather. You know, at what point does all this become just too ridiculous to be likely? A third thing the flat earthers say about Antarctica involves Admiral Byrd. He was the first person to fly over the South Pole, and indeed across Antarctica. So that in itself disproves the Antarctica isn't a continent theory. But somehow, complete morons ignore that and twist the words of the good Admiral to suit their crazy worldview. What they particularly pick up on is this. They interpret dome as the firmament. It's a bit of a jump, considering part of Byrd's work in Antarctica was to perform geological surveys, where the word dome has a specific meaning. A volcanic dome is just an outcrop of rock, basically. And he talked about there being lots of land. He was correct, but it's covered in snow and ice. I'm sure Byrd was looking at it as if that land could be exploited like northern Canada or Siberia is. And being an admiral, he probably didn't think much of the difficulties in running shipping to Antarctica. It's all possible, but Byrd wasn't an economist or businessman. Being possible and being economically viable are two different things.
Thanks again to MC Toon for the opportunity to show you my video. If you like what you see, hop over to my channel, link is in the description, and subscribe. Don't forget to give MC Toon a like for this video, and if you look at my channel, give it a like there too. One of the things my channel is about is corgis. I own 2 of them. Here's a little bit of footage of them. I hope you find them as cute as I do. And I've always finished my shows off with a barking corgi. Oh, and don't forget to watch right to the end. There's a little Easter egg. So there's nothing left to do but cue the corgi.
You're despicable.
Hugh Jars says, I love Hugh Jars and I cannot lie.